Tonight on the Late Night Big Breakfast, what's the latest in miniature horse news?
And how to really zhuzh up your lounge.
And what about those Maoris?
We're going out tonight, right here, right now. We're getting it on. Get on down. It's going on tonight.
Welcome to the Late Night Big Breakfast. Fantastic to have your company. And you think you're seeing things, well, you're not, because things have changed on the set here. We've moved away from soft furnishings into leather and vinyl, Lee Hart's pretty exciting.
That's right, leather and vinyl. Obviously, there's some Scotch gardening going on over there in soft furnishings in upholstery, where the Vivas are, where we normally are. Of course, where's Jeremy? I'll tell you where he is. He's over in haberdashery with a new segment with Asta. What's happening over there, guys?
Oh, Lee, I'm going to teach you how to turn an egg carton into a rose. Marvellous.
And by squeezing some bananas into this used Glad wrap roll, I'm going to show you how you can fashion an amazing artificial vagina.
That's great, Jeremy. Okay.
It's something I'm going to use, I can tell you that much. It's a great idea. Crafts Corner.
Fantastic. What a show we've got.
Big
Jace,
show.
what's
Big show.
happening?
I'm very excited about this show because, of course, it's our horse special. And we're meeting little Bo Peep later on in the show, and a whole menagerie of animals, a plethora.
Hey, don't give
of
too much
animals.
away there, Jake.
No, I won't
Don't
give too much away, but pretty exciting stuff, I can tell you.
It certainly is. And, of course, we'll be getting computer tips. We'll be catching up with Joe and bookshelves.
Bookshelves.
And, of course, some Celtic music from Jerry ONeill. All that and more after this sting.
It's going on tonight.
He's one of the world's most famous psychics. And
We're going to have to go back to upholstery.
Pardon?
We're going to have to go back to upholstery. It's just up this. Sorry,
We've already just moved back into leather and vinyl.
yeah, it's no good. It's no good. We're going back to upholstery.
Are they still Scotch guarding, or are they going to rotate us into another place? Or
They're doing. I don't know what they're doing.
just one more thing before you go.
Yeah.
See if you can sort that lighting out, okay? The stuff up here. Just see if you can adjust it. Get a guy up there and see if he can.
Flicking.
It's kind of strobing. Might be my retinas. I'm not sure, but I'm starting to get like a strobe going on in my irises.
Okay, well that's on the list as well then.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Josh, lift your game, mate. Lift your game, all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bit more notice.
he's one of the world's foremost psychics, and he's come to New Zealand to promote his book, Living in Dreams. Welcome to the Late Night Big Breakfast, David Richardson. Welcome, David.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
David, if I could just go first here.
Yes.
I've read a little bit of the book.
Yes.
And the story I'm getting, it's not exactly about being a psychic. It's more like your family living as psychics. And
Yes.
how you dealt with that.
Yes, that's true. The ability is not that strong in me. My father was far more gifted in that way. The book is more about the history of where this came from. What is that?
What's what? The music?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's just to sort of build and sort of get an atmosphere, I suppose, around you.
Setting a bed,
to
if
get
you
a bit
will.
of a
I
psychic
do wish
thing.
you wouldn't.
You'd prefer if you didn't have the music at all?
Precisely, yes.
So, in a sense, you're a carrier, not so much a...
Well, you could put it that way, I suppose, yes.
Much like, like colour blindness or male pattern baldness goes down through the... On the mother's side, I know that much.
With regards to your gift, does it have a physical manifestation?
Good question,
in terms
Jason.
of, does it exude in a certain way in you?
The only thing I do make claim to is being a sort of I have the ability to divine water.
Right.
And that comes to me through my fingers and tingling in my brain.
Can you sense water now in the building? Can you know where the toilets are, that kind of thing?
No.
If you're not really psychic, why did you write a book about being a psychic?
I have a slight psychic capability. I don't claim to be a fully fledged psychic.
Because our researcher told us that you might be able to do some sort of a bit of
No.
tricks, probably not the
I
word.
don't do tricks.
Sports results must be amazing to be able to go onto the TAB.
Look, I didn't come here to discuss that sort of side of my life.
How about crimes? Can you solve crime?
No, I can't. I've never
If
made
you had
any.
to, though.
I have never attempted that sort of thing.
Okay.
David, I've got
Yes.
a dead animal, Poppy. She was a dog, and I'm just wondering
Poppy's
whether...
dead.
Dear, look,
She died.
Just on the subject of dreams, and I was intrigued by your title, David, Living in Dreams. As a child, I was a bedwetter.
But I don't really care. I don't. Do
Well, I just-
anybody really
I was
care?
just- I was just intrigued.
And that we need to cover a lot of different types of issues as we go. We're kind of a compacted show, and if Jace has got a sort of a medical issue,
Look, please, you are getting out of hand here, a little out of hand. I do want to talk about my book. That is why I'm here.
this is the book, of course, Living in Dreams.
That's right, yes.
When you wrote the book, David, did you have a sense that
It's gonna be a
it's
good
going to
one?
be a big seller? It's going to be a big
Well,
seller.
one hoped that it would be, but...
But did you know? Did you have a sixth
No,
sense?
I did not have a sixth sense.
Tingling?
No, I didn't.
David, your book, Living in Wet Dreams, when did the
No,
dreams become
don't
wet?
get onto that sort of subject. It is not wet
where you
dreams.
went with
It is
that?
just dreams.
Well, with respect, David, I would say...
This is not respect at all. You're not respecting the
Well,
book.
no, I'm
You're
just
not
talking
respecting
about
my presence here.
just trying to put some context.
There's
I
some
think,
context into living with...
I
Just to
don't
clean up your
have
sheet.
wet dreams. I came here to discuss my book. Will we discuss my book, or shall I leave? Just control yourself.
Well, you'd probably
You're
know.
behaving like children. I have been interviewed all around the world, and this is the first time I have...
Well, let's head back to soft furnishings for our computer tip of the week.
Get on down. It's going on tonight.
Welcome back to the Vivo Lounge Suite, where we're here with Lance Wiggs talking computers. Lance,
Lance, I really want to ask you this question. Facebook, where did it all start?
Actually, Jace, I might take this one if I could. Sorry, Lance. Well, Facebook just didn't happen overnight. I remember, I think the original format was probably Faxbook. You know, I remember when I first joined, I had just 250 friends, right, which is an average amount. But the amount of paper I was using to keep in touch with those friends just to write something simple like just made a chili con carne or something.
Right,
You know, I was going through 6.5 tons of paper a year. You know, and you like people on fax. You send a whole fax to someone saying that you like them.
Yeah.
You know, and then they'll send one back saying, cool.
Yeah.
That's not
Horrible.
including photos. Imagine trying to send photos around on the fax and the ink cartridges and stuff.
They're not cheap.
It's bloody unbelievable.
They're not cheap, the
So
cartridges.
naturally you can see where Facebook came from. You need these kind of donkeys, I suppose, to pave the way, don't you?
I don't really know where to start with that, but
You weren't on Faxbook?
even back in '95, I know that I was sending faxes from my computer, so you wouldn't have had to have all that paper. The nice thing about faxes is that the law, I think there was laws that says, no, maybe there weren't laws that said you couldn't spam people, so people would spam
Yeah,
each
I've
other
heard
on
that.
fax.
I've heard
The
that.
nice thing about faxes is that spamming would cost money.
Yeah. So you're saying Facebook is better?
Well, Twitter or Facebook, I can just unfollow you, and we're done.
And there's nothing worse
that's what I
than
see.
when you make a phone call and you get a fax machine
see.
on the phone.
Yeah,
You know, it's that...
Sorry, Lance, thanks for coming on the show. This, of course, is our horse special. Luckily for you, there's a lot of crossover, I suppose, between horses and the internet. And that's fairly obvious, Jeremy.
it's time to go outside and have a look at what Jace is up to.
No, Jeremy, I'm just here, but let's go to an ad break.
Coming up, Jeremy sits on a real horse. Joe talks about miniature horses. We've got Celtic music from Jerry ONeill and much, much more.
Right here, right now. Right here, right now.
Welcome back to the Late Night Big Breakfast. This is, of course, the horse special. A little bit later on, we'll be talking to Little Bo Peep, who may or may not have lost one of her sheep. And in fact, next, let's go over and talk cars with Clive Matthew Wilson.
Get on down. It's going on tonight.
Well, per capita, we probably have more cars than any other nation. Editor of the car review website, Dog and Lemon, Clive Matthew Wilson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What's Dog and Lemon all about?
Well, basically helping to protect people from dogs and lemons.
It used to be a book, didn't it, or a journal?
Well, it used to be the world's largest car buyer's guide in terms of printed book, and we're talking 1,000 pages, which I used to put out once a year.
It was very reminiscent of a how-to book I brought out many years ago, more of a sexual help book, called Dog and Missionary, which is basically purely Dog and Missionary keeping it simple. So basically, it's just for people who want to keep sex very simple.
Sorry, Clive. Lee's just going a little bit off topic there. Back to cars. Which is better, a dog or a lemon?
Well, a dog is a car that may have been good at some point, but is now way past use by date, whereas a lemon is a car that shouldn't have made it off the assembly line, right?
I do have a special affinity with cars because I lost my virginity, actually, in a car on Arting.
What sort of car was it?
It was a Honda Sportagia. And which was a...
Didn't they come out in 2008 or something, Sportage?
2000 and... Yeah, probably about 2008.
Jace, was your girlfriend a lemon or a dog?
Bit of a dog. Maybe if we could just throw a few names at you, you could say, lemon or dog, Mercedes.
Well, they're a rich man's car and a poor man's downfall.
1979 Austin Princess?
Well, they're the perfect car if you is like spending your weekends lying underneath something that drips oil.
Mitsubishi L200.
Well, they're the most unsafe van
the classic Mitsubishi Mirage hatchback.
Well, they're wonderful in terms of the early ones.
Mitzi Dion.
Lemon, unless you...
Suzuki Samurai?
Oh, the Suzuki Samurai, they...
What about your Civic?
Well, they're the...
Skoda Compacto.
Isuzu Mu?
Well, they tend to...
Holden Sportasia.
You mean the Holden Sportiva?
Mitsubishi Magna.
You surely didn't invite me on this show to ask car stuff like that.
Clive, thanks for coming on. It's been fantastic having you here once again. That's all for Auto Chat today. Back after this infomercial.
It's never really happened to me before, but premature ejaculation affects most men at some point in their lives, often causing acute embarrassment and putting unnecessary strain on their relationships. But it doesn't have to be that way. The new lightning rod collar is a subtle device, sending tiny electrical shocks to your testicles when they most need them. Using a combination of ancient Chinese acupuncture, NASA heat shield technology, and proven canine disciplinary techniques, the lightning rod collar is known to reduce premature ejaculation by up to 70%. So don't have an all stocks must go clearance sale every time you make love. Use lightning rod, the new electrical testicle collar. Tell them I sent you.
Little
horses are
certainly if you don't want to...
Sorry, you want us to...
Oh, no, hang on. I thought I was
one?
doing this one.
Who's...
No, because you
did the last one.
Yeah.
Horses. No,
I should do it. Every once in a while, you get a really special guest and a really special treat. And on the late night Big Breakfast this morning, we have absolutely that guest, Little Bo Peep's travelling sheep, run by Fleur, who's joined us on the couch. And Fleur, look, I'm tremendously excited. I'm a great horse lover, firstly. Tell us a little bit about the business.
Well, I'm a great horse lover too, and that's where it started from. And I've got children who love animals.
Is that where it started from?
Yep, horses. Yep, and we've got all number of animals now.
No, I'm sorry, you're caller number 2.
I've got to say, Fleur, I'm a massive horse fan, and the thing that's always the thing that's always struck me about horses is how massive they are.
Yeah. Yep. They're equines, aren't they?
Yep.
I imagine you mentioned you had a Shetland pony. I imagine they're your most popular star of the show. Everyone likes little teeny things.
Who told you that, Jess?
My wife.
And is she into horses?
No.
I know Joe Bennett's big on Shetland ponies.
Yes,
he often brings them up.
Talking about.
And what sort of Shetland is this? Is this a Norwegian pygmy or a South African blue? Or what kind of Shetland is it?
He's just a miniature pony. He's just pretty much a mongrel, really.
So is that what? Is it literally like a midget?
Yeah.
So like a little person?
Yeah.
But obviously not a person, like a, is it?
I often wondered if Shetland ponies feel like circus freaks, because they're the sort of weird little, and everyone goes, oh, they're so cute, and they give them pats, but actually they're probably that way because they're deformed. They don't actually like being small, but everyone loves the fact that they are small.
A lot of emotional.
I could be.
A lot of thinking on behalf of the Shetland.
That's personification, I think.
Yeah, well, it is personification. But if any animal's going to be a drug addict, I'd say it would be a Shetland pony.
Now Shetlands are homosexuals, aren't they?
No, it's a good. Sorry, a good point you make there. I'm not sure about that. I know that rhinos are lesbians.
Rhinos are lesbians.
Oh, they're rampant.
Are they?
Yeah.
What, as a pack?
Yeah, they're
rampant.
rampant.
A pack of rhinos?
Well, I'm not sure, but I know that rhinos, for the most part, are colourblind and lesbians.
Right.
Okay. Koalas are also lesbians.
But the colour blindness has nothing to do with homosexuality.
Oh, koalas aren't colourblind, but they're lesbians.
Right.
All marsupials
The
homosexual.
koala a marsupial, is it?
Is it?
I'm not quite sure. Look, I'm not an animal expert, Jace. I don't really want to delve too much into the ins and outs of, you know, sexual behaviour of various different animals. You know, that's not what we're here to do. Hey, how about the business itself, though? So you've got the horses, you've got these amazing
Donkeys
animals.
and alpacas and everything.
donkeys.
Yeah.
Alpacas, donkeys. So, and what do you do with them? You're getting out there and showing.
We go to children's birthday parties and school galas and
Fantastic.
early childhood centres. And
So someone's
all
watching the
sorts of
show
things.
and they want this travelling
Barnyard and
menagerie.
pony rides. Yep.
They can just get in touch
With
via the
little Bo
website
Peeps.
down there.
Yep.
I tell you what, Flu, I think we've had the viewers hanging on a little too long now. Let's get outside and meet some of these horses, shall we?
Whoa. We've got to go to a break. We'll be back soon.
It's going on tonight.
Sitting on a deluxe stool from the Barmaster 2000 collection is our next guest, Jerry ONeill, with that Celtic classic, Loch Lomond.
You were fantastic, by the way. Are you from Auckland? You're not from, are you staying overnight?
By yon bonny banks and by yon bonny braes, the sun shines down on Loch Lomond, where me and my true love will.
Because I was going to say, if you want to sort of go around Auckland and, you know, have a look around the bars and stuff, I'd be keen to, you know, if you're interested in that at all. You don't have to wear the outfit. Well, you can, I wouldn't mind, but...
And I'll be in Scotland before you, where me and my...
And I love the outfit, it's really fantastic. It's a very little house on the prairie. I can smell hay too. It's like, oh, I fell over on the hay. Take me, ravage me, sort of thing.
Shady Glen on the steep side.
We're going through a bit of a trial marriage. Trying a few things out. You gotta, you know, keep things interesting.
Highland hills with you, and the moon's coming out, hear the gloaming. Where me and my true love will never meet again, on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond.
You didn't know that. Welcome back to Late Night Big Breakfast. Fantastic to have you with us. Now, we were supposed to go to the car park and catch up with little Bo Peep and see some of her animals out there, but unfortunately she had to leave unexpectedly and rapidly. Something came up there and we won't be doing that. But instead, let's check in with Asta in Craft Corner, see what she's up to. Well, Asta's busy beavering away here making roses. How's it going?
Oh, look, it's marvellous. You'll love this.
Oh, fantastic.
So you're into crafts, are you?
I certainly am. So what are you doing? You're just basically taking the cup of the egg cup and
Yes.
different sizes and turning them into a rose.
Absolutely. And
I can't imagine the delicacy of these, Asta. They're just remarkable.
well, actually, you could put a magnet on that and stick it to the fridge, and you could put all your little notes on it. You know, all
Okay,
your
yeah.
things you need to remind yourself of.
That's beautiful. And Jeremy, your artificial vagina is that's
yes,
working
let's
out
have
for
a look
you?
at it.
Well, it's actually not as good as I thought it was going to be. I'm having some
Bit
problems.
rough, love.
Well, just having a few problems getting the bananas in there. I need something else that I can stop them coming.
It's a bit long, isn't it?
Or maybe I need some moisturiser or some other kind of thing that I can put in there.
I'm sure there's 1,000 different ways to make an artificial vagina, but we could be here all day talking about that. And of course, if you need the full instructions on how to make Asta's egg carton roses, go to the website, go to Facebook, and check out Asta's own site, and she can show you how to do those. Fantastic. Asta, what are you going to make for us next time?
PlayDoh Roses.
PlayDoh Roses. And we've got places to go. See you
Certainly
later
do.
on. Thank you. Welcome again to Bookshelf. Joe, you're a writer, I'm a writer. We're a dying breed though, aren't we? We think about it. I mean, where is the spoken word, where's the written word going with the advent of the likes of Twitter and the Facebooks and
well, down the loo, I would say, frankly.
That's how you feel about it?
Yeah. I mean, the Twitter is for cretins. And do you tweet? I happen to know that you do. Let's put, I know you do it quite a lot, and
I
it's
have
about
people-
your standard. Fact,
I have
140 characters, which is what,
I don't
20
often
words
use-
at best.
I don't often
and
use
that
that
is
many.
supposed to encapsulate everything you've got to say about the universe. It's just the tweeting of blackbirds. It's the decline of consecutive thought, decline of intellect, decline of literature, decline of art. It's just short attention span bullshit. It's the saddest bloody thing in the world. And if you enjoy it, then you're sick. I'm sorry. It's the end of the world. That's
Okay,
it. And the selfie, for God's sake.
Remember, be sure to text us and Twitter us on the show, and also send us your selfies into the Facebook page as we are running a competition. Joe, surely, I mean, it's quite commonplace now, the shortening of the form of riding. I think it's called Shetlanding.
Shetlanding?
Yes, where they basically
As in the pony?
Yes, where they use
back to the miniature horses.
smaller form.
Right.
I mean, you've got your larger horse and you've got your miniature, like your Shetlands, and your brown Shetland.
So,
and your Shetland greys.
So we're looking at Clydesdale, and we're looking at Shetland.
Well, it's just a format now. People go, oh, you've certainly Shetland there, haven't you? You've Shetland.
I've never heard that.
You've Shetland that book. I mean, it doesn't literally have to be.
That's un-Shetlanded, isn't it?
Well, this is a book about Shetlands and
but
horses.
But it's un-Shetlanded, that one, isn't it?
A tweet is a Shetland of perhaps a larger form. Yeah. You're reducing it. You got your your bigger passage, and you reduce it into your smaller form, your Shetlands.
One of the other connotations of Shetlanding is to just sort of bulldoze the other bastard with your own ignorance. Just to charge over, if you have a guest, say, on a television show, just to write a rough shot over the top of him with your complete ignorant bullshit, and that is to Shetland.
That's the Shetland?
Yeah, to Shetland. Are you familiar with the term?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Shetland,
it's one
yes.
you might find quite useful.
I think we're on the same page here, Joe, which is good. Because it doesn't always happen.
I think you're on the introduction. I think I've reached a conclusion.
Okay. I mean, you obviously are a writer now. You must be online. You must do blogs and that kind of stuff.
Not as far as I'm aware.
Your columns aren't online?
I think they may be, yeah.
Okay. So you're blogging, to a sense. I mean...
I don't put them online.
We could actually call you Joe Blogs.
It's really funny.
It's good, with the blogs, because Joe B.
Yeah.
JB. If you want to get in touch with JB and myself, Joe Bennett and myself,
just drop us a tweet. Yeah.
Just get in line. Yeah, get on the Facebook, get on Twitter, Grindr. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, welcome back to the Late Night Big Breakfast, and welcome back to you, Lee and Bonnie.
Thanks,
crikey,
Jess.
it's been a show, lads, hasn't it? We've had a whole range of things.
And look at that. Get a close-up of that, can you, someone? That's the Late Night Big Breakfast coffee cup. And obviously, during a printing error, South Islanders printed backwards. So we're willing to let a few of these go cheap. Get online and get one of those, and you won't be disappointed. But, hey, that's pretty much the end of the show. We've got a great show next week, our Father's Day special, and it's going to be a sporting special, a real extravaganza, Jeremy. And we've got two names you don't want to miss. I'll give you a clue. Richie and Dan. They'll be on the show, so see you next week.
So concludes the show. And remember, the next time you're making love, if you think you're going to have an all stocks must-go clearance sale, try a lightning rod. Tell them I sent you.
It's going on tonight.
Actually, I prefer it if you didn't. And thank you, New Zealand On Air.